So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here. 1, 2, 3, go!
What is going on today? Hope everybody's having an amazing day out there. We are going to keep this theme going this week when it comes to rebranding your business. So today I actually want to talk about what to keep in mind when you are planning to rebrand or you're considering rebranding your business. Now there's some nervousness around rebranding a business. You might feel like it's overwhelming and you don't know where to start. It's normal. You might feel like once you rebrand, you might lose or scare off loyal customers. It's okay. That's normal feeling. The good news is in this episode, I'm going to shed some light on some of these issues and point you in the right direction when it comes to rebranding your business, because sometimes we go about it too quickly and we miss things. Sometimes we go about it and not take the right procedures or processes, and it comes to bite us in the ass later on, and you wind up having to redo it. So I don't want to see that happen to you, okay? So I am going to point out 4 or 5 different things here that are really going to put you in the right direction when it comes to rebranding your business. But before we get started, let me share with you this quick little message. If you're a business owner who feels your branding isn't truly representing the value that you deliver, check out this free video training that will help you level up your brand's messaging and online presence so that you can start attracting higher quality clients. Visit www.uniquedesignz with a Z at the end, not an S, .net/level up my branding. All right, guys, let's jump in. Okay, so there's a couple things that we need to pay attention to when we are rebranding or considering rebranding our business. Now, the reason why you got your customers in the first place is because of the values and beliefs that represent your brand. Okay, so one of the things that we need to pay attention to is maintaining that value, maintaining that message throughout the rebranding process. See, a lot of times people make too much of a shift, too much of a pivot, and it's a complete disconnect. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But on the flip side, guys, if you do change your values, then be vocal about it and explain why, okay? And just be prepared to see some of those older clients drop off. Okay, I'll share with you a quick little experience with that. You know, when I was transitioning from a freelance graphic designer into an agency owner, right? My old clients only wanted me working on their projects. And that was a huge deal, right? When I told them that I was bringing on a team, it's like they lost trust. And they were like, no, Henry, we want you to work on it. You get our brand, you get our business. And I had to explain to them. I said, listen, there's unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do this. You know, the value, the quality is still going to be there because I'm going to be overseeing all the work. But I need a team now to scale this thing. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting here, you know, stagnant and still and burnt out and just not happy with what I'm doing. And I think that's more of a concern for you, because if I'm not happy with the work, then I know you're not going to be happy with the work. So some people got it and some people stayed on board, but some people didn't. Some people said, "Oh, I'll find I'll find another designer." Okay, no problem. Another big whoa moment was when I raised all my prices. Some people understood it. Some people got it, especially other, business owners. Majority of the folks understood. But there was a few people that, used to buy from me or order from me sporadically, and they would order once or twice a year, and then the next year would come, and then I couldn't do that little work anymore. I just didn't have the bandwidth. We were working on bigger projects. So when I said, "Listen, I'd be happy to do it, but now I have a staff," and the project's going to cost more, and they just didn't understand. They said, "Oh, no, it's okay. We'll find somebody else to do it cheaper." That's fine. But my values stayed the same. Okay. But you have to understand that it's part of the game, right? It's part of the game. Now let's jump into why color for your brand is so important. So there's studies out there that show that color helps brand recognition by up to 80%. Okay. There's no coincidence why my color schemes are what they are. I love what the color purple represents as a color. I know that my audience and my clients align with what those colors stand for as well. That's why I chose them. Fast food chains. How come every fast food chain has red in it? Or some sort of variation of red? Red stimulates appetite. They're no dummies. They are no dummies when it comes to this stuff. Every part of your branding assets means something. Do something. Okay? There's another study that showed of the top 100 brands in the world, 33% of them go with some sort of blue color in their logo. Why? Because it's associated, blue, the color blue, is associated with one-to-one communication. Blue establishes and builds trust. So make your color scheme memorable at all costs. Okay. And keep your colors consistent. I could, I'm going to rent an airplane and fly it around with a big flag that says, once you establish your branding colors, make sure you keep them consistent. Because I see that a lot in people's funnels and in people's social media identity. They have a color scheme, but they don't abide by it. And they go off with all these different colors, and it doesn't do you any justice. It doesn't do you any good to do that, because why? People aren't going to remember that consistency. People remember consistency. If you're all over the place with your colors, forget it. Okay. Now, remember this, when you are going to go through the rebrand process for your business, understand that a rebrand can only do so much. Okay. So just because you do a rebrand doesn't mean the trolls on social media are going to go away. Okay. There's people out there that just don't like you for whatever reason. And you could spend $1 million on a rebrand and it's not going to do anything because they just don't like you. So it is what it is. Okay. So if you're rebranding just because you want to get rid of the trolls, there's still going to be a handful out there. Believe me when I tell you, I still get trolled from time to time here, but it's gone down tremendously since I've rebranded. I can tell you that from my own experience. But let me share with you another experience. So I don't know if you guys know who Lewis Howes is. Some of you guys do, obviously, but Lewis Howes is a big brand, a personal brand online. He's got a huge YouTube following, and he's got a great podcast. School of Greatness. It's a great show, and he puts a lot of work and effort into it. But for whatever reason, this guy still gets the trolls, right? And I saw him do something on Instagram a few weeks back, which I got a lot of laughs out of, and we got a lot of, you could tell his audience had a lot of fun with it. He basically looked at all of his 1-star reviews on iTunes and on YouTube and all of that, and he actually highlighted all of them. We talked about this in my last podcast episode when Domino's did the same thing. But what he did was he made a comedy out of it. He brought humor into it. And he just shared all of these trolling comments, and we were laughing. Oh my God. I was cracking up. It was an IG story. Maybe if you scroll down in his feed, you'll find it, but we were laughing because some of the things were so ridiculous, but it was a great way to handle and manage trolling. The other thing is, if you don't want to take that approach, the only thing that I recommend is if you're going to respond to a troll on social media, understand that there's a lot of reputation that goes behind everything and anything that you say, and you don't want to tarnish that reputation over some clown online. So if you are going to approach a trolling comment, make sure you do it in the most professional way possible and handle it accordingly, because you don't want that to come back and bite you in the butt, because you may be just furious. You may have emotions stirring. You got to chill and just approach it in a professional manner. And believe me when I tell you, people are watching. People are watching. So understand that when you're about to respond with something nasty, people are always watching. So it's not what happens to you, it's how you react, right? So make sure you react in a professional manner. Okay. Now, the other part of rebranding that a lot of businesses don't do. I noticed this because I do a lot of rebrand projects with clients. They come in, they have, a lackluster brand that doesn't really represent the value that they deliver, and they're looking for help, right? And as I'm going through the process, they're sort of not sure what to do. So they're kind of just like sitting there like, Henry, what should I be doing? And I tell them, you have to share the process with your customers and audience. This is the best part. This is the fun part. You keep them in the loop. You send an email out to your email list and you say, hey guys, we're in the process. We want to provide the highest quality service as possible. So we are going through a rebrand process right now. And we just want to keep you posted because we don't want you to wake up one day and our whole entire identity is shifted and changed and you don't even know who the hell we are anymore. I'm sure that's happened to some of you where this business goes through a rebrand and you don't even know. I can tell you right now, my wife's company is going through a massive rebrand. They just finished the rebrand like physically, but their market doesn't know the new name. So it's like starting from scratch. So if there was a piece of advice that I probably could have offered to them was keep your audience in the loop. Let them know that you're going through this rebrand. Don't surprise them. Okay. Post your progress online. Get them involved in the process. I'll give you a great example. One of my Brand Accelerator clients, he went to his Facebook group when we were going through the logo redesign process for his business. And he started asking them, hey, which concept do you like? What concept resonates with you the most? And we were able to get his audience involved and we got to a solution. We got to a final version very, very quickly. Okay. As we continue to speak about logos, make your logo memorable. Some of you guys may know this already, but it takes 5 seconds to make a first impression. And people are going to need at least 5 to 7 times of seeing that logo before they actually remember it. Okay. One of the things that I want to share with you that I think a lot of people They make a big mistake out of this because they think that their logo needs to do everything for their business. It needs to tell the audience what it does, how it is, what it looks like. And it's logos cannot do all of the heavy lifting for you. They can't. They can't. It's like trying to get a baby to walk at the age of 1 and just like forcing them when they're not developed yet, fully developed yet. It's not going to happen, right? I see people trying to put too much, and it's funny because I see this a lot on like handymen or services like plumbing and HVAC and companies like that deliver a service, right? They got to have like a wrench in their logo, or if you're a construction company, you got to have a bulldozer in your logo, or a big truck if you're a trucking company in your logo to let everybody know that you're a trucking company. I'm going to just tell you that is so far from the truth. That is not needed, right? Some of the best logos I've seen in my 14 years of being in this branding space are simple, clean, iconic, and just they radiate quality. Some of the best logos I've seen were so minimalistic, you would say, how the hell did they come up with that? Because it's easy to create a plumbing logo with a wrench in it that says John's Plumbing in it. It's a lot harder to refine that logo into something much more simplistic. My copywriter tells me this all the time. He says, give me a 1,000-page sales funnel to write for you. I'll have it done, no problem. Give me a 500-page sales funnel and I need 2 weeks. Because that refinement process and that heavy thinking involved in that is where the work is truly done. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. All right. Other thing that I want to pay attention to when we are rebranding is great brands have great products and services. Okay. If you're going to update the look and feel of your brand's identity, so we're talking funnel, social media identity, websites, color scheme, logo, all of that stuff, make sure you take a peek at your services and offerings as well. Okay. I'm constantly reinvesting in my brand accelerator program. And I'm about to bring on another brand strategist to help me dial in my process even more. It's going to be about 3-4 weeks worth of work, but like I'm ready to revamp. I'm ready to improve. I'm ready to take this program to the next level, right? We're doing everything from an identity standpoint. I feel like we have a really good look and feel online, but I still want to improve my products and services because my products and services will be associated with my brand. I don't want anybody to ever say, that wasn't worth it. Never. So I will continue to reinvest into my products and services to make sure that they are on point with the way I'm conducting myself online and how my brand looks and feels online. Okay. Couple little quirky things that I want to share with you before we wrap up. I'm going a little slow here. I got an interview I got to be on in 15 minutes. But great. I get this question a lot. Like, what should I name or rename the business? And I got to tell you, like funky, quirky names, like made up names work the best. Okay. Like Netflix, Hulu, names like that. I ran into one yesterday, emotionality. I thought that was really cool. So name recognition is very, very important when it comes to creating a name or rebranding a course or rebranding a product or service. Come up with a really cool name and don't be afraid to make something up. Let your creative juice flow. There's no right or wrong answer. It's either going to feel right or it's not. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. All right. And then last but not least, guys, brand names and logos that evoke emotion. You heard me talk about this in nauseam. Win every time. They win every time. If your branding or rebrand is not evoking emotion, it's a waste of time. It's a real waste of time. Let me give you a couple of examples before we head out. You know who's continuously impressive with the evolution of their brand is Jessica Alba and The Honest Company. I love that she branded the company The Honest Company. If you go to the website, that it screams honesty. And I think people gravitate to the word honesty. People want honest. They want the truth. They're starving for it. And if you're not sure if your brand evokes emotion, then all you got to do is ask. I do this several times. I do this in my emails. I do this on social media. I'll just go out there and ask and say, what's the one thing you feel when you think about the Brand Doctor, when you think about Unique Designz? And there may be things that shock me. I'm not afraid of it. I used to be. I'm not afraid of it. That feedback is gold. You can't buy that feedback. It's priceless. So let your audience tell you. And then you'll get on the right track. So these are some things that I really want you to pay attention to when you are considering a rebrand, or maybe you have a new product line that's coming out and you're branding that from scratch. The branding process, it doesn't need to be nauseating. It's actually easy if you have a guide that helps you every step of the way, pointing you in the right direction. It's like a tour guide when you go on vacation, right? You get off the boat or you get off the plane, the tour guide's waiting for you, and they keep you on the right track, keep you doing things that are unnecessary, keeping you focused on what matters the most. That's what we need to do when we're rebranding. So whoever you decide to help you with your rebranding, choose them wisely. Make sure you ask them what the process looks like before you embark on a project of this magnitude, because I can promise you, when a rebrand project is done right, there is a step-by-step approach to it, and it does take time. It's not something you could just fly through. So just want to share with you those little tips when it comes to rebranding your business. Hope this helped, guys. Hey, guys, don't forget, come check me out in the Facebook group that I have. It's called the Brand Doctors Hangout. I really want to start to get faces to names and faces to reviews that of folks that are listening and tuning into this show. We got 90,000 downloads a month. I want to get to know some of you guys a little bit more personally. So if you want, come check out the Brand Doctors Hangout on Facebook. And don't forget, if you want to get a better understanding of how I help my clients brand their businesses or rebrand their businesses, I have a short, maybe it's not that short, it's about 40 minutes, but it is a sneak peek on what I do and the process that I take my clients through when we go through the process. So if you want to check that out, it's at Unique Designz with a Z at the end, not an S, .net/level up my branding. Go check that out. And I promise you, you'll leave that with much more insight into branding your business and really helping you represent the true value that you deliver to your audience and to your customers. So have an amazing day, guys. And I will catch you on the next one real soon. Take care.